Hello, this is Unit 16, a presentation about human immunity by Shamin Chungisha. So the immune system is a complex network of organs, white blood cells, proteins, and chemicals that all work together to defend the body against foreign invaders. So organs of the immune system can be seen on this diagram, for example, the spleen, the bone marrow, the skin, whereas white blood cells can be lymphocytes, monocytes, or neutrophils. Proteins can be cytokines, while chemicals can be histamine or prostaglandins. So all these work together to defend the body against foreign invaders. So foreign invaders can be microorganisms or non-living substances, and these cause infectious diseases. For example, microorganisms such as bacteria, viruses, or fungi cause infectious diseases such as HIV/AIDS, UTIs, or malaria. Whereas non-living substances, such as toxic chemicals, increase susceptibility to autoimmune or infectious diseases such as TB due to their modification effects against normal immune responses to allergens or antigens. So, infectious diseases can be transmitted through direct contact with an infected person or animal, either by touch, animal bites, or scratches, or it can be transmitted indirectly by coming in contact with a contaminated object or surface. It can also be transmitted through insect transmission, for example, insect bites from vectors, which may cause malaria. Food and water transmission involves eating food that may contain bacteria. For example, unwashed salads may contain E. coli bacteria. Non-specific defenses. So the immune system can be divided into two parts: the non-specific or innate immune system and the specific immune system. Our bodies are made up of three lines of defense. However, the first and the second lines of defense fall under the innate defenses. These are present at birth and are located at infection sites, ready to encounter pathogens with a generalized response. The first line of defense: when a pathogen invades the body, it encounters physical and chemical barriers before an infection occurs. Physical barriers, for example, the skin, which is the largest organ in the body. So this plays a vital role in defending the body against foreign invaders, for example, the microbes all over our bodies. So unless the skin is cut, these microbes cannot enter into the body. Another example of physical barriers is the mucous membranes. And these include, for example, are in the respiratory system, the gastrointestinal tract, the urinary tract, and these trap bacteria before they enter the body. Chemical barriers can include hydrochloric acid in the stomach, lysozyme enzymes in certain tears, lactic acid in the female genital tract. These inhibit harmful bacterial growth or survival. The second line of defense. Pathogens that manage to cross the first line of defense are encountered with other immune defenses. The second line of defense uses immune cells and proteins in recognizing and eliminating pathogens through innate defenses. For example, inflammation. This occurs when damaged cells from injured tissues release chemicals such as histamine, bradykinin, and prostaglandin, which cause blood vessels to leak a fluid into body tissues, thereby causing a swelling. And this swelling isolates foreign substance from body tissues. Also, white blood cell count at the infection site increases body heat, which can have an antibiotic effect. Inflammation also stimulates neutrophils and macrophages into secreting more cytokines, specifically the interleukins. This involves sending interleukin-1 to the brain in the formation of fever. At the hypothalamus, interleukin-1 fuses with the prostaglandins, specifically the PGE2, thereby causing heat production through shivering and heat conservation through vasoconstriction. Increased body heat inhibits bacterial growth, while enhances immune cell growth. Phagocytosis. The released chemicals attract white blood cells called the phagocytes at the infection site. So these neutrophils and macrophages detect, engulf, and destroy the foreign invaders. The complement system. This works alongside the innate and the specific immune system to help eliminate pathogens. These protein groups work interactively to form a cascade of reactions once triggered by a pathogen. They attract phagocytes to remove foreign particles. They also initiate inflammation, among other functions. Specific immunity. The third line of defense uses specific or acquired immunity, which involves specialized B and T cells in the elimination of specific pathogens already encountered. The developed memory from previously encountered pathogens allow quick and effective responses in their re-encounter. B cells are involved in antibody-mediated immune responses, while T cells are involved in cell-mediated immune responses. Sensitivity to antigens. Sometimes abnormal or pathological immune reactions are due to the exposure of an antigen misidentified as harmful. The self-antigen's inevitable existence as host triggers repeated exposures and overreactions in immune responses. This is called hypersensitivity. The types of hypersensitivity reactions are categorized according to immune reaction levels to antigens. So type 1, 2, and 3 are immediate reactions mediated by antibodies, whereas type 4 is a delayed reaction that is T-cell mediated. The roles of different immune cells. White blood cells or leukocytes play vital roles in executing immune responses in the body's defense against pathogens or foreign substances. Innate leukocytes include neutrophils or granulocytes. These are fast at the infection site and block germs from entering the bloodstream. They also eliminate bacteria through phagocytosis. The lymphocytes, which can be the B and T cells, the B cells make antibodies and memory cells, while the T cells are involved in cell-mediated immunity. Monocytes differentiate into macrophages and dendrites. The macrophages remove pathogens and dead neutrophils through phagocytosis process. The eosinophils host defenses against parasitic and allergic reactions. The basophils contain histamine, which contribute to blood vasodilation by increasing immune cell count at the infection site. They also secrete anticoagulants and antibodies against hypersensitivity. The types and roles of immunoglobulins. Antibodies or immunoglobulins are proteins bound to antigens. They are produced by B cells and perform different functions in the immune system. Immunoglobulin G or IgG stimulates a direct attack against foreign invaders. It is the only immunoglobulin transferred through the placenta from the mother to the fetus. The IgA congregates in fluids, for example, the nasal mucus, breast milk, or saliva, thereby protecting against inhaled or ingested pathogens. The IgM acts as an excellent activator of the complement system. The IgE plays a significant role in allergic reactions and parasitic infections. The IgD's exact function is unclear, however, it may function as the B cell's antigen receptor. Self-recognition and tolerance. In a healthy immune system, T cells do not respond to self-antigens, and this is called self-tolerance. The major histocompatibility complex, or the MHC proteins, along with the human leukocyte gene complex, help in distinguishing between the host and the foreign cells, and this is called self-recognition. The loss of self-tolerance occurs when dendritic cells present self-antigens to T cells along with additional activation signals of their attack. And activated immune responses may cause organ damage or transplant rejection. The rejection of transplanted organs. The recipient's immune system can attack healthy organ transplants if recognized as foreign. The MHC molecules play a dominant role in tissue or organ rejection due to their unique association with the T cells recognition system. Severe rejection reactions occur from greater antigenic differences between the recipient and the transplanted organ. This can be minimized by closely matching both tissues. Immunosuppressing drugs help in preventing host-mediated reactions against the graft. Immune system disorders. The causes of autoimmune diseases are unknown. However, theories of their triggers can be bacteria or viruses, drugs, chemical or environmental irritants. However, their susceptibility increases with genetics. So, examples of autoimmune diseases include rheumatoid arthritis or multiple sclerosis. Rheumatoid arthritis is a condition whereby the immune system attacks its own joints. Individuals may experience joint pain, stiffness, or some loss of function. Others may experience swelling and deformities of the joints. This is common in women, and it is believed to affect older people, although some people get it in their 30s. Multiple sclerosis or MS. This is a condition whereby the body's immune system attacks the protective covering of nerves, for example, the myelin sheath. This slows down the transmission speed of the nerve messages between the brain and the spinal cord to and from the body. Symptoms may include numbness, weakness, balance issues, or trouble in walking. The different forms of MS progress at different rates. The biology of vaccination. Vaccination is the introduction of a weakened or harmless version of a pathogen into the body to stimulate immune cells into producing antibodies, thereby providing immunity of that specific pathogen. Categories of acquired immunity. So, there are two categories. There is active immunity and passive immunity. So active immunity is the immunity or resistance gained against a particular disease or illness by creating antibodies for that disease. There are two types of active immunity. So there is natural active immunity and artificially induced active immunity. So natural active immunity, this is immunity acquired from an encounter with a pathogen through an infection with the actual disease. Artificially induced active immunity. This is acquired by artificially introducing foreign or vaccine antigens into the body. Then we go to passive immunity. This immunity is temporary and it is derived from another person. There are two types of passive immunity. There is natural passive immunity and artificially induced passive immunity. So natural passive immunity is the immunity acquired through prenatal or postnatal interactions between the mother and child. This can be through the placenta before delivery or through breastfeeding after childbirth. Protection lasts months as antibodies deteriorate and the child's immune system develops. Artificially induced passive immunity. This is immunity acquired by artificially injecting antibodies or antiserum into the body to neutralize infectious agents when immediate protection is needed. This protection is short-lived. Immune responses to vaccination and the immunological memory. The primary response. This is the initial encounter of a pathogen. The time spent in antigen identification by the B cells and antibody production by the plasma cells causes symptoms of an infection to manifest. At this point, memory cells are produced for easy recognition if the pathogen ever re-encounters. The secondary response. In the pathogen's next re-encounter, even after years, memory cells will recognize them and quickly produce large quantities of antibodies to fight the infection before symptoms manifest. The immunological memory. This is the immune system's ability to quickly and effectively respond to previously encountered pathogens, thereby ensuring its effective clearance. The concept of herd immunity. Herd immunity is a form of immunity that occurs from a vaccination of a significant portion of population or herd, which provides a measure of protection for the vulnerable people who cannot be vaccinated. For example, the newborn babies, the elderly, or the sick people who have underlying health conditions that weaken their immune systems, for example, cancer or HIV. So in herd immunity, high immunized rates are vital, and low immunized rates breaks it down, thereby increasing the numbers of new cases. On the other hand, herd immunity does not protect against infectious diseases such as tetanus. Therefore, vaccinating large population does not prevent its contraction. It is also important to note that herd immunity does not provide 100% protection against 100% protection against targeted disease. Factors affecting vaccine uptake. The benefits. Whereas vaccination reduces transmission of disease, some people value the opportunity to protect the vulnerable people who cannot be vaccinated. In some instances, vaccines are provided to certain groups of people to provide more protection to others than themselves. For example, a pregnant woman may receive a vaccine against whooping cough, which is intended for her unborn child. Risks and uncertainty. Although risks of disease and their effects may motivate vaccine uptake, the real or perceived risks are key factors in the rejection against vaccination. For example, in responses to reports of blood clots after receiving the AstraZeneca COVID-19, some people suspended the use of the vaccine, while others sought to reassure the public of the vaccine safety. Information and influences. Information sources about vaccines are a significant factor in decision-taking of vaccination. Studies show that information received from official sources, such as healthcare professionals, is likely to encourage vaccination. However, traditional news media has also been influential. The significant decrease of the MMR vaccine in the early 2000s in the UK has been linked to media coverage claims of the MMR's responsibility for autism in children. However, these have been proven to be false claims. Benefits of vaccination. Worldwide immunization programs have eradicated some diseases such as smallpox and polio. However, remaining polio cases have been found in Pakistan and Afghanistan. However, these cases can be reduced or prevented from increase with regular enforcement of polio vaccination programs countrywide. Then we go to community immunity. Although a vaccinated person can help protect people who cannot be vaccinated, its high immunized rates are vital in limiting disease spread, and low immunized rates increase possibilities of disease contraction. However, it is also important to note that community immunity even if it doesn't provide 100% protection, it provides substantial protection for those people who cannot be vaccinated. Then we go to childhood mortality. Before the introduction of vaccinations, childhood deaths were common from diseases such as polio, measles, or whooping cough. Although these diseases still exist, vaccination provides a greater protection against serious complications from these infections. Conclusion: the immune system plays a fundamental part in providing protection against diseases. However, diseases such as those caused by viruses can be hard to prevent. The intervention of vaccination can be very crucial in helping the immune system provide protection against disease once it surfaces naturally. Although vaccines are said to have side effects, these can be mild and short-lived compared to the general vaccination protection that may last a lifetime. Thank you so much. This is the end of my presentation.